Okay, so we're starting our second video from Math 105. We're still doing integer exponents is what is our topic. We haven't finished it yet. Integer exponents. Let me go and write that down right away. As follows. The 1 minute here. Apologize. Integer exponents. Here we go. Integer exponents. The first one, I'm going to call this B because the first one, I know it might even take us a second, and even one more about this integer exponents. We'll see. I don't know if we'll need that much time with this topic or not. But it's our second video. There may be a third about the same exact topic, integer exponents. But before we start, a quick review of an extremely important topic that you might be rusty about, of signed numbers. That means plus numbers and minus numbers. This is extremely important. If you're rusty, this review will be helpful, and you'll be able to see it over and over again by playing this video. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's say one part of this is to talk about addition, subtraction of signed numbers. And the other one, let me get to that later, is multiplication and division. Okay, just bear with me a little bit here. Now, what if you have, some of this is going to look ridiculously simple, but bear with me. If you have 5 plus 2, everybody knows what to do with that. If you have -5 and -2, now we're talking signed numbers, they're negative numbers. So let's talk about that in a second. What if you have 5 and -2? I know it seems ridiculously easy. And what if you have -5 and +2? Okay, so now here's the answer to 5 plus 2. Obviously it's 7. The answer to this one, -5 and -2, is -7. If you have 5 minus 2, everybody knows it's 3, but let me tell you how you should remember how to do this. One is positive, one is negative. Subtract the smaller from the larger, 5 minus 2, which is equal to 3, and keep the sign of the larger. If there's nothing there, it's a positive, it's plus. So that's why the answer over here is +3. Let me show you this again in the next one. You have one negative, one positive. How do you deal with this? One number is negative, one number is positive. What do? You subtract the smaller from the larger, 5 minus 2 is 3, and keep the sign of the larger. So what are the rules? The rules are, if they're the same sign, so then what you do is you add them, and keep the sign. That's exactly what I did in the first two. I added them and kept the sign. If they're different signs, 5 is positive, and -2 is negative. -5 is negative, and +2 is positive. So if they're different signs, right? So then here's what you do. Here's exact instructions. Subtract the smaller from the larger. Right? So the smaller from the larger. And keep the sign of the larger. Let me show you that in action. Let me finish writing. And keep the sign of the larger. Okay, what do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. You subtract the 2 over here. You subtract the 2 from the larger one. 5 minus 2 is 3, and keep the sign of the larger. The larger is positive, the answer is positive. Subtract the 2 from the larger, 5 minus 2 is 3, and keep the sign of the larger. Those are the rules of addition subtraction. Okay, now let me move my paper up so I get some room. Move my paper up. And what about the rules? And I think I can get it all on one paper. What about the rules for multiplication and division? Let me give you an example with multiplication. What if you have -5, Yeah, okay. Negative 5 times negative 2, or 5 times 2. What you do is, if they're both the same sign, multiply 5 times 2 is 10. If they're both negative, the answer is positive. If they're both positive, the answer is positive. What if you have one is positive and one is negative and one is positive, or the first one is positive and the second one is negative? So one is positive and one is negative. In that case, 5 times 2 is 10, but the answer is negative. 5 times 2 is 10, and the answer is negative. So if they've got the same sign, and it's multiplication, then the answer is positive. If they've got different signs, then the answer is negative. Now, let me show you what would be what's the situation with division. It's the exact same thing. Let me take a different number. If you got negative 8 divided by negative 2, you get positive 4. If you got 8 divided by 2, you also get positive 4. Same exact thing. Same sign, the answer is same sign, positive. Same sign, positive. What if the top one is negative and the bottom is positive? The top one is positive and the bottom is negative. Then your answer is going to be negative. 8 divided by 2 is 4, but the answer is negative. 8 divided by 2 is 4, but the answer is negative. If they are different signs, the answer is negative. This is a quick review. It's worth doing to help us with integer exponents, which is our topic, but it's going to help us throughout the semester. This is crucial. This video is crucial. We're going to stop here. I ran out of paper, and we'll move on to the third video about integer expressions soon, hopefully.